And we're back, AdventureBlur here. Do you guys remember game myths? Back in the early days of the internet, it was very common to hear about these crazy game myths and legends and believing that they're true. Whether you sort of made them up in your mind or you heard it from one of your friends on the playground, they were super common. So for this video, I wanted to go back through some of the ones that I personally grew up with. Even though the internet did exist by that point and I did technically have it to where I could use it and look stuff up, I never thought of using the internet for gaming as a kid, which is actually very ironic seeing as I have a gaming YouTube channel now. But because of this, a lot of these theories that I had as a kid either came from my friends or family, or just ones I kind of made up my mind just because I thought it made sense for the game to have it. So let's go over these and let's get started. Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, Super Sonic, and Hyper Shadow. This one is a classic, and apparently I'm not the only one that grew up with this myth. So the myth is that when you beat Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, you would somehow be able to unlock Super Sonic and Hyper Shadow to be able to be playable in all the modes of the game. Let's get one thing clear right now. It was never Super Shadow, it was Hyper Shadow. Why is Shadow Hyper? I have no idea, but that was always what we called it. That was always what the cheat codes called it, so it stuck. I spent countless hours replaying the final story of Sonic Adventure 2 Battle just to unlock Super Sonic and Hyper Shadow. Well, technically speaking, you can play as them in the final boss, so technically speaking that is kind of correct of a myth, but we always thought there was more to it, that we'd be able to play as them more than just that boss. What's crazy about this one is that it was meant to be true. You were actually meant to be able to play as Super Sonic and Hyper Shadow in the multiplayer mode of the game. People have gone through the files of the game and have discovered that you would be able to play as both of them as an alternate costume of Sonic and Shadow in the multiplayer mode. You would have to unlock it by clearing Green Hill with an A rank, which really wouldn't be too hard if you already 100% of the game to begin with. Unfortunately though, Shadow is called Super Shadow here and not Hyper Shadow, but I'm fine with being wrong, I guess. Animal Crossing GameCube, earning a car from Grace. I'm gonna be real here. I don't know where this rumor came from, or myth, or whatever you want to call it. It's just one that me and my sister grew up with pretty regularly when we played the GameCube Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing on the GameCube was quite literally the Pokemon Red and Blue of our childhoods, because how Red and Blue had the whole Mew under the truck and missing no, Animal Crossing had very similar things, such as messing up your character's face if you take out the memory card while you're on the train, or this myth we have right now. This myth we kind of create ourselves stemmed from the fact that Grace shows up in your town out of nowhere with a car. Now, the car was just for show and was pretty much a mini game where you would press whatever button as fast as possible to clean her car, and if you do it correctly, you get clothes from Grace, which is normally very rare and very valuable. Now, Grace doesn't say anything about giving you a car, so I don't know why we thought it. We always thought that if you continued to do it every time she showed up, you would eventually be given a car to drive around not just your town, but other towns as well. Somewhat of a way to explore other areas of the world. I think a lot of it came from the fact of, this is the only car you ever see in the original game, and that outside of the train, you can't really explore any other places. Well, that and the boat of Captain's. So it was something so unique and so out of nowhere that it kind of made sense for it to somehow have more of a purpose than just a random minigame on a random day. Looking back on this one, there is absolutely no way it could have existed. It would have completely broken the Animal Crossing game and really wouldn't have made sense. But at the same time, when you're a kid, you kind of expect stuff like this to happen. Especially with games like Animal Crossing. This was our first look at an open world game, at least for me growing up. So it being a lot bigger than we even thought to begin with just made sense in our minds. Sonic Heroes Secret Chow Gardens. The Chow were definitely a big part of my childhood. And one thing that always confused me and my sister and all my friends was the fact that Sonic heroes seemed to both have Chow and not have Chow. They had Chow in the sense of Cream the Rabbit having her Chow in the game, and also finding the Chow by using the Chaotix in their mission, which really confused us, seeing as Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 both had Chow Gardens all throughout the game. So we always assumed that heroes would be the same way, and that maybe we just had to unlock it, similar to how we had to get the key in Sonic Adventure 2. I replayed the game so many times, exploring all the worlds to the best of my abilities, just to see if there was somehow some secret trick or hidden area that would lead to a Chow Garden. Now in the end, there was never plans for a Chow Garden, there was never an appearance of a Chow Garden, but something that I'll always remember is the hunt for a Chow Garden, hoping that somehow there would be one in that game so I can raise even more Chow than ever before. Also an honorable mention, I somehow, for some reason, assumed that Sonic Riders would also have a Chow Garden because the shopkeeper was a Chow. It doesn't make sense, and I still don't know why I thought that, but I did. Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed this fun look back at some of the crazier theories and myths that I grew up with as a kid. If you grew up with any of these myths or one similar to it, please let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear more about all these crazy theories we had as kids. You know, there were so many. And if you enjoyed the video, please like it and share it with others. And subscribe if you want to see more content like this. And as always, this is AdventureBlur, and I will see you next time.